Coming to 3 to go. Chase Hill all over Tanner Holmes. Oh, he gets into them, and they stack up, and Stephen Gannon.
So it is a normal day here in Red Bluff, California, inside the Red Bluff Outlaws building. It's a little chilly in the middle of the winter. Factory QRC trailer got our karts out. We're ready to go racing tonight. We also have the heaters so we can stay warm as we got a long day and a long weekend of action here ahead in Northern California. As I walk up here to kind of check out a little closer look at the racetrack, I get asked a lot, Tanner, like how small is Red Bluff? And until you see it in person, you're gonna have a different outlook. It's as small as you think, but it's actually almost a little bit bigger. There's room out here, but there's also not. Once you get a lot of outlaw karts out here, you know, turning 8-9 second laps, this place gets very, very crowded, and that's why it's so intense, and you really have to run a good race to be successful here and to put it in victory lane. And I truly believe racing this in the winter time, it kind of keeps my skills sharp, kind of gives me a chance to be competitive, scratch that itch, and you know, just overall work on being a better race car driver. It doesn't matter what you're running, you're always working on your skills and just being the best that you can be. But we're going to be racing here in Red Bluff. We got 2 nights of action tonight and tomorrow. As always, expecting a large car count, probably close to 200 total in the pit area, spread across all the classes, and we'll keep you up to date with what's going on throughout the night. We have probably about an hour or so. We'll be getting in our fire suits, firing up our race cars, and then we'll be rolling right out for qualifying. Here at Red Bluff, you don't get to hot lap. There's no laps off, you would say. You literally roll out, you're on the clock, and that sets up the rest of your night. So the sponsor of today's show is Raceiver. That's right, this device that I'm holding right here in my hand, a Raceiver, it is huge in the motorsports world and has been for many years. Take for example the Red Bluff Outlaws, the track that is right behind me. This place has been racing for over 40 years, but they run a super long show. They start at about, you know, it's 10:30 now, cars are gonna be mud packing, and we're probably gonna end at 9 or 10 this evening. Almost a 12-hour day, and that show would take so much longer without this device in my hand. They basically use it to talk to all the younger drivers to teach them how to line up, when the yellow's out, when it's time to go green, when there's a red, you know, unfortunately if they have to use the black flag, whatever the case may be, they talk directly with the drivers, and it's like that all across the United States at grassroots tracks. Places where kids are getting involved and learning about the sport and racing and trying to move up through the ranks, and even to the most competitive divisions like the World of Outlaws and High Limit, they use this device, and it is huge for making the show what it is. So thank you to Raceiver for supporting our channel. I will put a link to them at the top of the description. They have a few different variations of their product. They also have some different products that involve ear protection for being at the track. So whether you're a fan, whether you're a driver, crew member, owner, you could use their product, and it can definitely improve your experience at the track. All right, it's time to get into the night here at the Red Bluff Outlaws. Just went out and qualified here for Red Bluff. Started the night. I think for the most part it probably doesn't matter a ton when you go out here at Red Bluff. With the cars being so little, the track doesn't change that much besides on rare occasions. So we drew an 83, which I knew was probably going to be almost the last car out, but still it's just nice to go out earlier. I feel like if you want to be super technical, the track's probably just that much better. And so I kind of waited, and they give you a feature here for 10 bucks where you can redraw. Well, I drew an 83 and I went and redrew and got a 93. So I was dead dead last. We just ripped off 17th quick out of 42 cars. I just felt way too tight out there. I almost had like so much drive. I couldn't get the car, like anytime I was on and off the gas, I just couldn't keep the car settled down, and it just seemed like I was just pushing me so much into the racetrack. Super tight center off. Anyway, it is what it is. We did make the invert, so we're gonna start on the front row of the heat race, but would have liked to qualify a little bit better there than that, but it is what it is. We will just keep going to work, and you know, like I said, main thing is just getting the balance good for me. When my balance is really good, I'm right there and I'm money, and I feel like we're the best car. But as we've kind of been chasing here, me get back in the Outlaw Kart swing, I just don't feel perfect yet, so we'll keep working on it.
So they took a quick break before the heat races, so I took this opportunity to walk out on the track. It seemed like both the bottom and the top still had good grip. I just started to notice that there was different spots in the track that were starting to get rough and choppy, so it was interesting just to kind of see those before we run these upcoming 8 laps.
So a disastrous heat race there. I was nervous going into it just because I had a lot of guys that shake things up in my heat. I knew I needed to get out front. Got an okay start, slid for the lead, got crossed up off of 2, and just could have just done the first lap better. Once I lost the lead, I knew it was going to be full defense mode from there on out. I don't know, I kind of was running the bottom and hung with the leader and didn't feel great down there. The track's just super uneven, not necessarily rough. I mean, actually, no, it probably is a little bit rough. It's not even just uneven, just you bounce a lot. I wasn't able to get in a rhythm. You know, I felt the car behind me kind of shove me in the corner, so I was just trying to change my lane up. You know, when you don't have anyone next to you, you have the track, and then going into 1 and 2, I just got tail tanked and spun out. Luckily, I kept the car going, so I only lost 2 spots. Lost the transfer spot, fell back to 4th, and that's where we finished. I don't know when we made that contact, if my car was screwed up. It didn't feel great there at the end, and I don't know if I'm just not driving the car right or why we don't feel stellar, but I told you after qualifying, we just got to keep working on it, and that's what we're going to do. But super frustrating to get taken out of a transfer spot, but we'll have to go through the B coming up. So here's a look at the racetrack as they're getting ready to start the alphabet soup. We got to come through a B main event tonight. They transfer 6 out of it. I think it's 15 laps, and we're going to be starting 6. So technically, we're going to be rolling off from a transfer position. The goal is just to try to move forward. The closer you are to winning the B main event, the safer you are. 5th and 6th in the closing laps is not the position you want to be in. So hopefully we can just get rolling a little bit better. The track's finally kind of slicking it off. That heat race, I just didn't get rolling good, and it's tough, man, especially when you're not in clean clean air here at Red Bluff, just to, you know, like I said, to maximize speed and get going. And so hopefully here this will be a couple more laps before we get into tonight's feature and can make our race car better. Like I said, the racetrack is also going through an extreme amount of changes. It's actually slickening off and slowing down, where earlier in the night it was pretty fast and still choppy, and sometimes as it slickens off it actually smoothens out a little bit because some of the softer spots kind of just get blown off the track and end up closer to the wall. Hard to tell just by looking through the camera lens, but you know, the bottom, you can see where guys have been running. They've been throwing some material up to the top. No matter what, I always tell you, RBO is a big blender and it can just be what it is sometimes. As much as I feel frustrated from the heat race and I don't know, it just sucks. The situation that we were in, could have done things different to not been there, but still, like, it happened. As a driver, you have to have short-term memory, put that stuff behind you, and now we have a job to get through the B main event, and that's our ticket into tonight's A. So we're gonna be rolling off from 6th, and here in just a few moments we'll be climbing in the car for that. So some good old track prep inside the Red Bluff Outlaws, 6th to 3rd in our B main event, which was huge to lock us into tonight's show. I hate B main events here. There's nothing more in this sport that I hate more than B main events inside this building. There's so much outside of your control. The good news is those felt like some of my best laps of the night, and now we're gonna be rolling off from 13th in the feature. So as we finish this track prep session, we just have the dashes for all divisions and then the A main events to finish the night. They tilled it, they watered it. You can see now they're even trying to scrape it a little bit, which isn't great since they just worked it in the sense of keeping that grip, but I think they're just trying to smoothen it out so much. It's risky to work a rough racetrack because sometimes it just gets rougher and rougher and comes apart, but like I mentioned, they're trying to smoothen it out because, man, it's a little wild tonight. But now we're going to be rolling off from deep in the A main event. I can breathe a sigh of relief that we transferred, but we still, our job's still not done. We have a lot of work to do, and we really got to try to move forward through this race, starting in the back. Guys have won from the back before, just everything has to go right. And like I said, I got to do my job behind the wheel.
The 14M of New Order. Oh, big wreck. We got a couple of them upside down. Stephen Gannon and the 1C of Chase Hill both went upside down in turn 1.
so we, I think, finished 10th in tonight's main event, started 13th. At one point got up to 7th, maybe almost 6th. There was a cluster at the end when I was just trying to be patient, man. I feel like there's two ways you can approach this place. You can either dive bomb. It seems like what 90% of the people do here is they just wide open until you hit something, basically. You know, wide open until you hit something and plow your way through the field. When you're trying to get a good solid finish, you know, coming from the back or even having a shot, it's hard to make friends doing that. So I don't know, I feel like I'm probably just caught being a little conservative, working my way through the field, but also everyone's so similar in speed. Felt like our car was solid in the feature. Like I said, we worked forward. We took advantage of just about everything. It just had one slight mistake in 1 and 2 it was at the end. A bunch of us got bottled up, and in an effort for me not to basically cause a wreck, I just got sideways, and then I got straightened out luckily and lost probably 4 or 5 spots, backed up to 10th or 11th or I don't know, and then you know, like I said, just got back to 10th there at the end. Definitely frustrating to lose some spots. Like I said, it's just you gotta have better track position here. There's definitely always a chance you can get through the field if everything goes right. There's a big crash, the restarts go your way. You can make ground, like we made ground there, like I said, up to 6th, 7th, but I just wasn't able to make certain moves happen when I needed to. If I could have, you know, played my chess, my pieces a little bit better, and like I said, I think maybe got to 6th there in the middle of the race, I think we would have finished a lot higher up. I just wasn't able to make it happen. So we'll keep working on the AT&T. We salvaged a top 10 finish out of tonight, a night that ended up backwards in our heat race, and made it through the B and passed a couple cars in the feature. So it's tough, not exactly what we want. We want to be on the front stretch, but you take those nights. Glad we didn't have a DNF. We ran all the laps, and we're just trying to do, you know, the best we can as we're points racing here inside the building. All right, they are getting the track ready for tomorrow. We got a couple guys here that want to be in the video here. Wave for the camera. Lots of Red Bluff kids. Man, what ended our night, P10 in the Open A main event. If you guys have been following what I do long enough, you know I've raced in this building my entire life. I don't know if it's been good for me or not in the sense of the stress level. This place is a stressful place to race because there's so much out of your control. One of the battles I think that I'm kind of starting to experience this year is I'm really just trying to have such a level head. I feel like I went through a lot of ups and downs in years past trying to points race, and my thing is just try to get the best finish that you can and maximize every night. Be risky when you have to, but also don't take unnecessary risk, and that's like what you learn watching Brad Sweet, Donnie Schatz, these guys that points race on the World of Outlaws, and not trying to compare that to this, but I'm just saying points racing in general is a lot different than when you can just leave it all out on the line every single night and it is what it is. So far our nights haven't been stellar necessarily, but I think we're gonna get hot soon. We just gotta keep working on our car, and I think a lot of it too is track position. You can't win these races starting 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, coming from the B. We got to qualify better. We got to get in the dash so we can start in the first 3 rows. And if we do that, I mean, when we're starting up there, we're running up there. So everybody's just so tight to the competition here because a lot of guys have similar equipment. QRC Karts, bad boy 500cc engines. A lot of guys have engines built by Jimmy Elledge, my car owner. So everyone's got a lot of power, and it's no different than 410 sprint car racing. You get spread out and everyone's kind of just the same speed. Wish we could have had a few more spots tonight. I think we could have if we didn't have whatever happened in 1 and 2. I don't know if that was my fault or just kind of bad circumstances, but anyway, top 10. Like I said, it sucks to, I mean, I'm definitely not happy with that. And I want to win every night and everything that I'm doing, and especially when people watch these karting videos, they think like, Tanner, you should be waxing all these guys. Well, Red Bluff's just a different breed. All the same guys run here every year for all the past years, and so like I said, everyone's kind of on a very similar playing field. But like I mentioned, they're working the track now. Big thanks to Jimmy Elledge, Factory QRC. Always love running with him. That's why I'm here, and just enjoy the opportunity and working towards getting in victory lane here this winter with the AT&T and put the red cars up front. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Remember, level head, got to keep digging, take the good with the bad in this sport, man. I'm just very thankful that I get to do what I get to do, and tomorrow's a new day and another chance to achieve our goals. So we'll see you there. Deuces.